Hi there, welcome to this week's #Finance Friday. And this month we are talking all about ideas and idea generation and just figuring out how we can do things better, right? So I was just wondering, how has your idea generation process been going? Have you got a growing list of ideas based on our discussions from last week? Are you documenting them somewhere? I really hope you are. And I would love to know, where was the weirdest place that you came up with an idea? So drop us the comments below. I would really like to know how this whole process has been going. But maybe you've been a little bit stuck and you've been battling to come up with new ideas. So what I want to do today is to help you understand different ways of brainstorming and actually what it is in the first place. You might have heard this term before, but not quite sure what it is. So brainstorming, as defined, is a group creativity technique by which efforts are made to find a conclusion for a specific problem by gathering a list of ideas spontaneously contributed by its members. Now, as you can hear here, it's actually originally a group activity, but you don't always need people to be able to do it. Sometimes you can do it alone too. And we'll have a look at some ways that you can potentially go solo on this whole thing just now. But firstly, I want you to understand that brainstorming is about quantity, it's not about quality. You're trying to really generate as many ideas as possible. And because of that, brainstorming comes before your critique, before fine-tuning, and before dismissing it. Okay, so it really is just about taking a very untested idea in your mind and just putting it down on paper. Alfred Nobel once said, if I have 1,000 ideas and only one turns out to be good, I am satisfied. I don't think a lot of us can relate to that one. We expect every idea to be a good one, but in reality, that is not the case. So let's think about how we can actually start coming up with ideas. If you're running solo, you're doing this on your own. So I've got 6 ideas here for you that you can start off with. Firstly, think about mind mapping. Now, mind mapping is great for visual thinkers, and remember that the first idea may not necessarily be the right one, but it can help to stimulate your thought process as you identify offshoots that come from that original idea. Okay, so that's the first one. Secondly, do reverse brainstorming. Now, reverse brainstorming is to come up with great ideas that can cause a problem, right? If you think about it from that way, it's coming up with problems and causes for that problem, and because of your understanding of that cause, you're able to come up with potential solutions. Okay, so start with a problem and ask, how could we cause this? And once you've got a list of great ways to cause the problem, it becomes so much easier to be able to start solving them, right? Okay, then number 3, fill the gap. Identify where you are at the moment. We are here, and then say, where do you want to be? And what will be the steps that you need to take to be able to get to that point? Number 4, the 5 whys. Now, you might have seen us sharing an article about this last week, and what we're trying to do here is to really get down to the root cause of whatever problem we are tackling. So why is this happening? But still, why is that happening? And why is that thing happening? And you actually go through that process around 5 times. And by digging deeper all the time, you start getting to the underlying reason. Okay, so at least 5 times, you should be able to get to a point where you have a little bit of a circular reference happening. And when you get to that point, you know that you have hit the root cause. Okay, so that's number 4. Number 5, doing a SWOT analysis. Now, you might be unfamiliar with this term of a SWOT, but that is looking at your strengths and your weaknesses, which are normally internal, and then comparing it to your opportunities and the threats, which is external to your business. So do your SWOT analysis. And then number 6, do a brain dump. And we will circle back to this one again just now. But that is really where you write down as many options as you possibly can with as little amount of time as possible. But you're not thinking, you are literally just writing. So just do a word vomit or an idea vomit onto the page, and no justification, no critique. You just put down all of your ideas you can possibly come up with. Okay, so there you've got your brain dump. Now, you might find that you need a bit of time to do this. And again, it's not about taking the first best idea and running with that. It's coming up with as many ideas as possible, and then from there you will start sifting through them. We found this awkward quote by Warren Buffett, and it's totally true, but it is awkward. It says, no matter how great the talent, or the efforts, some things just take time. You can't produce a baby in 1 month by getting 9 women pregnant. Okay, very inappropriate, but I thought it was a good match to what we are doing here in terms of our idea generation. Okay, so maybe you've tried some of those techniques that I've mentioned just now, and maybe you're still getting stuck. Maybe you've made some progress, but you're like hitting a wall and you just can't move forward. And if you are at that point, it might be time to get a team of people around you or to start bouncing ideas off of other people that can help you to move forward. So some ideas of people you might want to ask or form groups around you could include your family, your friends, could be some colleagues or network associates, whichever the case might be. Could even be customers, and it could be complete strangers that are walking along the side of the road, and you can just be like, I want to pick your brain. Okay, we don't want to make this awkward or uncomfortable, so please choose your people wisely. But let's have a look at the 6 ways that we can do group brainstorming. So firstly, we've got brain writing. Now with brain writing, we're really allowing every group member a few minutes to write down 3 potential solutions. Then you take those 3 solutions and you pass the page to the right-hand side, and the next person starts to add their own ideas to your 3 solutions, okay? And it's a rinse and repeat exercise until you have a nice long list, a variety of lists of possible solutions. Okay, so that's the first one. Second one, rapid ideation. So this is very much similar to the brainstorming method that I mentioned just now, but or the brain dump method I mentioned just now. But it's about saying, write down as many ideas as you possibly can within a 30-second time period, or maybe 1 minute. You can totally decide what time pressure you want to put them under. But by making sure that there is time pressure, you are forcing yourself to write down as many ideas as possible without shutting them down. Like, you're not giving yourself time to think, you're really just putting it down right as they come up in your brain. Okay. Then number 3, figure storming. Now, I haven't heard about this one actually ever, but I think it's so clever to think about it from this way. So they suggest thinking about famous people like Oprah or Bill Gates or Father Christmas and thinking about what they would do to solve the problem. And sometimes if you've got shy people within your group, it helps them to associate it to someone else instead of with themselves, so that they don't have to attach their name to it and potentially be shut down, right, for their idea. So I think that can be really interesting to come up with ideas for how Santa Claus would solve a problem that I might face in my business. But alas, okay, so that's number 3. Then number 4 is brain netting. Really, all this is it's taking the brainstorming process into the online space. So it's where you take a whole bunch of your team members and you would just put out the idea online and you get them to brainstorm around that idea whilst online. Okay, really simple, and that is the way that things are going these days, right? Number 5, starbursting. Similar to the mind map approach that we had suggested just now, but what you do over here is once you've started, once you've selected an idea, you start to grow it using starbursting, which basically takes that central idea and it allows the team to think about this idea from multiple different angles, potentially 6 questions that you can ask them, and each point will represent a question. So who, what, when, where, why, and how. Those are the typical 6 questions we will always ask, right? So for example, who is this product targeting? Or when would be a good time to launch it? And what is our motivation for creating this product? Okay, so just think about those 6 points as you go along your start. Then the last one I want to mention, number 6, is crazy 8s. I like this idea and the name of this activity. So basically, in 8 minutes, each person draws roughly 8 ideas. They don't physically have to draw it, they could just note it down, okay? But then you will present the top 3 ideas to the rest of the group. You don't tell them this in advance, okay? And you repeat this process. And as you go through this process, you're allowing them time to flesh out potentially the best ideas, and then you get the group as a whole to vote on the top 3 that they decide on as an individual, and you can then rate it as a group overall and see what the top 3 is that comes out overall. So those are some methods that you can use as an individual or as a group to be able to come up with a whole host of ideas. Now, you know me, you know that I like online tools. So MIRO is a cool online tool that helps you to go through this brainstorming process. And they've got a whole bunch of awesome templates that you can go check out. And it is free for 3 editable boards. After that, you start paying from around $8 per person for a team of 2 people. But you can totally get away with a free version. Just go delete the boards you're not using, right? So one of the methods that they talk about is Scamper. So I will share the link to the MIRO website. You can go check it out. And I'm also going to share another website that gives you a little templates that you can use. It's a PDF download. You can go check it out. Okay, but so what Scamper is it's basically an acronym that helps us to improve our ideas by looking at them from different angles. Okay, it works well when we combine it with brainwriting sessions. And Scamper stands for, firstly, the S is for substitute. What would happen if we swap X for Y? Okay. C, combine. What would happen if we combine X and Y? And then A is for adapt, and it's about how we can adapt this thing to a different context within which we find ourselves. Okay. And then M, that's number 4. M is for modify. How can we modify this product to add more value? And then P is for put to another use. So what other uses or what alternative uses might this project or this product or this service have that we might not have thought about? And then the E is for eliminate. What can we remove from this project or product to simplify it? And think about how you can make it cheaper potentially, right? Simplify it all the way down to spare bones. And then R is for reverse. How might we reorganize or reverse this project to make it more effective? So you can use these templates to be able to track everyone's responses and actually end up in a position where you've got an awesome collection of ideas that you can then start sorting through and analyzing. So what do you think? That's a lot of tools and tips and tricks that you can go check out. And I hope you are ready to get brainstorming now. So whether you're grabbing a book or a team or your computer, it doesn't matter. Just make sure that you get storming this week. Okay, I'll see you next week. Bye.